We live in an era of absolute distraction, a world overflowing with 30-second reels, valueless content, and endless clickbait designed to steal your attention. In this relentless noise, the truth about the most powerful figures on our planet often gets buried underneath flashy headlines. But today, we stop scrolling. We step away from the viral clips and carefully crafted PR campaigns. We are going to look into the shadows. We will dissect the life of the most talked about man on the entire planet, a man whose mere existence shapes the future. You think you know his story. You have seen the immense wealth, but what you are about to hear is not the story of a billionaire. It is the story of a mind at war with itself. Please note, while the core contradictions of his life are drawn from our extensive research, some general context about his public image mentioned here falls outside the provided sources, and you may want to independently verify those details. To the outside world, he is the ultimate visionary. Some call him a pure genius. Others call him the real-life Iron Man. He is a tech revolutionary who has forced entire industries to bend to his will. He looks like a man who holds the universe in the palm of his hand. When he speaks, markets shift. He has built an empire of innovation that makes him seem like a deity of the modern digital age. He is an absolute idol for millions of people around the globe who wake up every single day wishing they could have just a fraction of his unprecedented success. They study his routines. They obsess over his habits. They want to be him. But the deeper you look into his actual reality, the more the glittering facade begins to crack. The more you dig, the more startling contradictions you find. Let us start with the most glaring paradox of all, wealth. Imagine having access to unlimited resources. Imagine holding the title of the absolute richest man in the world. What would you do? Where would you live? You would probably envision sprawling mansions, grand estates, and a life of unimaginable luxury. That's what normal people do when they acquire power. But he is not normal. The richest man in the world actually lives in a tiny house. Let that sink in for a moment. A tiny house. Why? What drives a man who owns the world to isolate himself in a space so small? It's not humility. It's something far more complex. It is an obsession, a relentless consuming focus that views physical comfort as nothing more than a distraction from the ultimate mission. But the contradictions do not stop at his front door. They bleed into his empire. He is celebrated worldwide as a visionary leader, a tech revolutionary pushing the boundaries of what humanity can achieve. Yet, behind the closed doors of his own massive factories, a much darker reality exists. The very people who work tirelessly to turn his wild dreams into a reality often harbor a deep resentment. He is a tech revolutionary, yes, but he is also hated by his own employees. Hated? Why? Because the price of his perfection is their peace of mind. He demands the impossible. He crushes normal human limits. In his relentless pursuit of the future, the human beings of the present are often treated as disposable cogs in a magnificent but brutal machine. The cost of working for a genius is surrendering your own humanity to fuel his fire. Then comes the most terrifying truth of all, a truth that makes all the money and all the power seem entirely meaningless. Millions of people look in the mirror every morning and wish they were him. They pray for his intellect. They envy his dominance. But the man himself looks in the mirror and sees something entirely different. The idol for millions has explicitly stated that he does not want to be himself. Think about the profound tragedy hidden inside those words. The man who conquered the physical world cannot escape the terrifying labyrinth of his own mind. His brain is a high-speed engine running without brakes, a continuous storm of ideas, anxieties, and immense pressure. He has built a golden cage, and he's fully aware that he's trapped inside it. He does not want to be himself. Being him is a waking nightmare that money cannot cure.
To truly understand a mind this complex, we cannot rely on superficial internet articles or brief sensationalized news clips. We have to go deeper than anyone else is willing to go in today's media landscape. We spent agonizing months diving into the abyss of his psychology. We read a dense, incredibly detailed 700-page book about his life. We sat and analyzed dozens upon dozens of his interviews, studying every micro-expression and pause. We dug through every single available piece of evidence, tearing apart the myths to uncover the raw, unfiltered truth. We wanted to know who he really is, stripping away the PR machinery and the fanboy worship. What we found was not a superhero. What we found was a deeply fragmented soul, carrying the unbearable weight of the future on shoulders that are painfully human. When you absorb all of this information, your entire perspective shifts. You stop envying him, and perhaps you start pitying him. The tiny house, the alienated employees, the dark confession that he wants to escape his own consciousness. This is not the standard biography of a successful entrepreneur. This is a psychological thriller playing out in real time on the global stage. It forces us to ask terrifying questions about the nature of extreme success. If getting everything you ever wanted means losing your own peace of mind, is the sacrifice actually worth it? Are we worshiping a savior, or are we enabling a man who is quietly spiraling under the intense glare of the world's spotlight? The line between absolute brilliance and utter madness has never been so incredibly thin, and he walks that razor-thin wire every single day, entirely alone. Our months of intense, exhausting research have not brought us a simple, comforting answer. Instead, the endless data, the 700-page text, the dozens of hours of footage, they have all led to a single, inescapable point of friction, a question that echoes in the silent emptiness of his tiny house, a question that haunts the minds of the employees who both despise him and build his dreams. My mind has been completely stuck on this one haunting thought. When you strip away the billions of dollars, when you look past the revolutionary technology and the global adoration, what is truly left behind the eyes of the man who holds the future hostage? Look at the evidence. Look at the pain hidden behind the achievements. You must watch his every move and decide for yourself. Is Elon Musk really a genius or a psycho or something deeply, terribly in between?